My number 10 will be the Bears.
Ooh.
Bill Chuck Norris, starting QB, and he's going to be really good to look at this season. His awareness is killer, and he's 99, rated 99. So he's part of the 99 club. He's a good quarterback that you can't just, let loose. They got William Hillard, the running back. He's coming back. He's productive. He's been productive. The last time I've seen him play, which was the season before this, and they got Javon Osborne, and he is rated 85, along with the right tackle Jared Finley. So you put all that together, I think the Bears have a good chance of climbing, but for the beginning, for me, I think the Bears would be 10th.
Okay, there we go. So, Gators, tell us who your 10th is.
All right.
And you got 1 minute on the clock. Go ahead.
Sounds good. All right. So with the 10th place in my power ranking, I think the Werewolves. Oh, no. Ooh. Yeah. The Werewolves. Definitely.
Goes last.
I put the Werewolves down there. First year in the league. Okay. They got a lot to make up. Okay. They missed out on this draft, so a little bit lacking in that defensive department, but they're sitting pretty nice. They got a great quarterback and a great offensive line, and that's comparable with everybody else in the league. Now, if you look at the individual players, let's see what I got here. Yeah, they got like the 99 club freaking quarterback and a great freaking running back in Darius Burke, 94 overall. That's really great.
Oh, yeah.
Holy moly. Okay. Yeah, and like I said, they got a great offensive line, so they can be able to protect their quarterback and push all those freaking defenders out of their way. Right. That's my number 10 pick.
All right, there you go. He beats the buzzer before the time, and he picks the we got Werewolves. The Bears, and then we got the Werewolves, and I'm going to come out now with a little controversy here, and I'm going to go with the Piranhas as the last team in the league. I think the Piranhas are a great team, but I think Alonzo Graham and Chauncey Preston and those guys for the Piranhas got really lucky this year. And first season, I think they won a lot of close games, but I'm going to put them last in the league because they're going to have a Viper season where they're going to get real close every time, but this time instead of being on top, this time they're going to lose at least four games that are 3 points or under is my prediction for the Piranhas, which will put them at last place. Okay, so now I'm way ahead of time. I only took 30 seconds, but hey, that's all I need to say because I know that the Piranhas are going to do really well, but their defensive draft was the worst. Let's just be politically correct, and they were the worst draft in my opinion, and they're going to suffer from it this year, and I do believe that Alonzo Graham is a talented quarterback, but I don't think that he was beating people rawly. I think that he got kind of lucky a few games, and I don't think that lightning strikes twice. Okay, so now let's move on to the Rhinos, and let's talk to them about their 9th power ranking. Who do you think is going to finish second last and just miss the playoffs, Rhino?
9th on my list is also the Piranhas. The Piranhas look to get back in the playoffs with a core team that clicks together down the stretch of the season. But the question is, did they make the right moves in free agency and in the draft similar to the Cobras? Alonzo long throw Graham held the squad down in critical games, and Watson came on strong near the first half of the last half of the season and first half of the season actually, and made some great plays. But the Rhinos, it will hold. Their O-line will hold, but their secondary still has a lot of work. And depth-wise, with a very, very weak safety core, it's just I can't see them going any higher than that right now. Despite having 10 snowball players, they got 10 snowball players and ranked 4th in offense at the end of the season. I still have my doubts about the Ranas, so they're number 9.
Awesome. Wow. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Good analysis coming from the Rhinos owner there. So now Gators, let us know. You got 1 minute on the clock. Let us know who you think is going to just miss the playoffs.
Should be quick. It's got to be. It's similar to the same decision I made for the 10th place. I'm going with the Bears in 9th. It's their first year in the league. They're sitting really good with a good fullback. They've got an adequate quarterback and adequate halfback. They stand up with the rest of the league. But again, their defense is lacking, and their offense isn't really anything to shake a stick at. So, I'm a little skeptical of them and their abilities to make the playoffs. But yeah, that's all I need to have to say there. I'll look at the individual players, give you a little bit more feedback there. Looking here, yeah, like I said, nobody really stands out. Only one good corner. Safeties are good though, which is surprising in the first year of the league without going into the draft. So, yeah, that's why I put him above the 10th place.
Okay, there you go. Great, valid points. Finishes with 20 seconds still on the clock, but hey, great pick, and looks like there's some similarities there with the Bears there, just missing the playoffs. Okay, so now I'm going to go again. 9th pick for me is going to be a little controversial. And once again, because I like to stir up the pot a little bit, because that seems to be the way the games play out. 9th pick, I'm going with the Cobras. The Cobras finished with the 2nd seed, hosting a playoff game, doing really well all season with the legend Quincy Drennan and all these people going, wow, these guys are unstoppable. They even finished with the 2nd best defense in the league. But this season is going to be an eye-opener. This season's going to really wake up Cobra fans. It's really going to get Cobras really focusing and going, hey, damn, there's a lot of talent coming out of this draft. Maybe we need to make some more moves. Maybe, that trade for that 5th round pick that they traded for a 74 corner hurt them. I don't care what anybody says, in my opinion, that hurt them, that trade. And also, Quincy Drennan and Ron Simmons can only do this for so long, because a lot of people may not know that Quincy Drennan is the old man on the Cobras, and he's not going to be doing this forever, and I don't think he's going to have another season like that, because I'm telling you, he had magic in his shoes last season, and this season, it's not going to be so so much magic. I was going to say magicful, but whatever. Hey, you know what I mean? Cobras just missed the playoffs in a tight ball game last week of the season. In the 9th week, they're going to have to win to get in, and they're not going to win it. Okay, so let's move on. Now, let's go to the number 8th pick, and let's go Rhinos. You got 1 minute. You're on the clock. Who just squeezes into the playoffs? Rhinos.
Oh man, this is getting a little spooky. My 8th is the Cobras.
Ooh.
The Cobras, they're a solid team, extremely dangerous on offense, with the greatness which is Simmons and Drennan connection. They might have the best 1-2 punch in the whole CSFL. Despite them being favorites every week and said to even be a title contender, one of the few teams to beat one of the few teams to actually beat the Blue Jays with a 4-3 record and looking towards the 2021 season. The Cobras are poised to do well. The only thing that might keep them from being truly dominant in the next couple seasons was their draft process and picks. They missed a ton of good opportunities to fill some holes in the team and land higher rated prospects, which in turn dropped them lower in the power rankings than most thought. They were just the average team until they made that move in the draft, which I thought just totally dropped their stock.
15 seconds.
And they have enough if they make enough improvements, they might be able to raise some questions later. But right now, their future is in question, and I don't know if they'll be able to have a good season like they did again. They're just kind of good, but they got to be better than good next season to get. contend.
Awesome.
I don't think they can
You're
because
damn
of the
right.
draft.
I agree with you so much, man. Absolutely. What a great pick there for the 8th Cobras, just making it in for the Rhinos. 8th power rankings. Now let's go to the Gators. Let us know who just makes the playoffs, who gets in.
I'm going with the Piranhas. That's who I think is in the 8th spot in this power rankings here. Like they got a great wide receiver, but nothing else jumps off the page. Nothing else. It's like last year making the finals. Like that's lucky, like you mentioned earlier. But yeah, lightning doesn't strike twice. Jesus. Now, as for their players, anything that sticks out there? Yeah, their secondary is lacking. They did pick up a good cornerback there in their I don't know what pick they picked. I think it was 3rd pick in the draft.
Mm-hmm.
But they had a good second cornerback now. But yeah, the linebacking core is pretty lax. So is their defensive linemen. They're ready for next season though. If they have any retirees there for their offensive line. But we're talking about now. We're trying to win now.
Right.
That's at least my team. But
Yeah.
that's what we all should be doing right now in our league. But yeah, they're pretty lacking. That's my final say.
Well, you got 20 seconds left, and you always finish just in time. And what I was going to say is that you're damn right about the Piranhas. I couldn't agree more, and it looks like we're all kind of thinking the same. Okay, so now
Yes,
I'm
sir.
going with my 8th pick, and the guy in the team that just squeezes in, and I think it's going to be a tied record. Hear me now. It might be a tie record with 9th place, but they have the one up on them for winning the head-to-head matchup, and that is the Werewolves. I think the Werewolves are going to really impress people this season. I think they're going to get in a lot of shootouts. They're going to let up 30, 40 points maybe a week, but they're going to score 35 or 43 a week. So I can see them winning a lot of really close games with Darius Burke, that running back, one of the best offensive lines, controversially in the league, one of the best running back there. But in my opinion, it's Phil Clemens and Matt Davis. But I think that Darius Burke goes berserk, and I think he's going to have a crazy game, may even set a few records in some of these ball games that he has. And also, you know who, the Corvette, Quincy Barnett. He's smooth and he's classic. He's one of those players that I think is just going to put it on the money, and he's going to make that receiving core better than it is, because he's going to put it right on the number. Right, so Werewolves, I think, are going to come in at 8th place, and they're just going to squeeze in with like a tie record. Like, you know what I mean? Like they're just going to get in, man. It's not going to be like, oh shit, look at the Werewolves. It's going to be like, oh shit, the Werewolves beat out the Cobras. Let's see what they can do against the first seed in the playoffs. Okay, so now let's move on to the 7th ranking pick. It's getting more and more exciting here. We're already 13 minutes into the video, so let's go with the 7th pick. Rhinos, take it away.
All right. Yeah, those are all great points. And I think I will expand on that because number 7 for me are the Werewolves. It's one of those teams where you look at it, you're just like, damn, like they look really good. Can they cause a rebellion in the CSFL? Let's see, because on paper the Wolves are starting QB Quincy Barnett, and he is a 7-year pro and also part of the 99 Club. He's 6'3", 215. Everything sounds good, but what if I told you that his throw power was 99, his throw accuracy was 99, oh yeah, and his awareness is 98. Darius Burke is looking to make some noise. He already has a better rating than most running backs in the league. 90s all across the stat board, and he's not even taking a snap. So I think the Werewolves are going to be, a shocker. They'll be lurking in the power rankings for sure, going up, down, maybe up more than down. But yeah, number 7 for me is the Werewolves.
Wow, awesome, man. He finishes in time. And honestly, man, I couldn't agree more with you, man. Those Werewolves are right there, teetering right on the park, right there. Hey,
I mean, look at their quarterback. Like, look at his stats. He's like,
Only one that's
it's
close to that
crazy.
is Ron Simmons.
Yeah, you're right.
So let's
There's
go,
no way
Gators.
he's gonna
You're darn
suck.
right. You're
There's no
darn
way
right.
he's
All
gonna
right,
suck.
Gators.
Management. It's
If
all
they
about
know
that
how to use
management.
him, if they use him the
Who's-
right way, man, he's gonna shred us, yo.
Who is the
Yeah.
7th pick for the Gators? Go ahead, Gators. You're on the clock.
No one mentioned this team yet, and you know what? I'm not surprised. They won the Super Bowl or the bowl last year, and I'm putting them number 7, the Dragons.
Whoa!
I'm sorry.
No,
Wow.
They have-
Go.
I'm sorry. They have the worst wide receiving core in the league.
Wow.
They got the worst offensive line in the league, almost in my opinion. The defensive line also the worst in the league. But they showed up last year. I'm not gonna lie. But that last year's last year, man. Last year's last year. This is this year, and I don't think they got it. They got a great quarterback, but it's all on him, and that's too much pressure, in my opinion. Let's see what they got. Yeah, and of course they got some good defensive backs in it. They did pick up a couple good linebackers, so their defense is going to get a little bit of a help. But nonetheless, I still think they're going to only make it in 7th spot.
Wow. Okay. You can never say the Gators don't have cojones, because that is quite the pick there.
No love for the
7th pick.
champs. No love for the
No
champs.
love.
That's
No
that's
love.
a
Love for the
tough
champs.
decision, especially when it comes to my list. But hey, let me go into the 7th. Let's get this going because we don't want this video taking forever. We all got stuff to do. Hey, 7th pick is for me is the drum roll, the Wildcats. No one thinks that the Wildcats are going to do worse than this than the owner himself. Okay, the Wildcats, looking at their team, they're very impressed. They got the best, I'm going to say the best wide receiving core. They have one of the really good top quarterbacks. They got a running back that plays way better than he's rated. But that defense, I'm going to tell you, they're going to lose so many close games. Again, just like I was saying about the Cobras, they're going to have these woes. Okay, so last year, a lot of those woes were the Vipers and Rhinos and Gators. They lost a lot of close games. Guess what? Next season, it's going to be the Wildcats. People are going to be like, man, the Wildcats are so good. How do they have the second, third, something like that, maybe even the first best offense and still losing ball games? What is it? Is it Jeannie Ingram? Is it the defense that with all the rookies starting, all that awareness? Is it not enough? We're going to really see that come out of the Wildcats. They're going to bounce. They may come up to the 6th, but I see them finishing at the 7th. Wildcats, bottom 4 in the league. For record. Okay, so now let's move on to the Rhinos, and let's hear the Rhinos' sixth power ranking. Who do you think is going to finish 6th at the end of the season, Rhinos?
6 from my list was kind of hard. I did elaborate on it for a while, but when it came down to it, I put the Wildcats at 6.
There you go.
The Wildcats, they scored big in the draft with the addition of the star stud Storm and Joey Norman anchoring the defensive ends. Along with Norman, they picked up a great defensive tackle in Nate Carpenter and added some depth at the tight end. The Cats played their hearts out last season, and Ingram gelled well with the offense, and he had a standout performance in Week 6 with the big QBR rating of 146.4 and threw for over 200 yards and 3 touchdowns. After being traded to the Wildcats, to the Wildcats, I think with a little bit more time and a few adjustments, they can definitely rise up there. But the question is, with a disappointing season and a record of 2-5, let's see if the Wildcats will ever consider putting Ben Powell in, because he's only getting better and he's only 91. Could he go in there and shake things up and maybe get that offense going and move things on the line for the future of the Wildcats? We'll see. But if they do make a move, it'll be interesting. And I still think that both quarterbacks could push them to the top. So
Okay.
number 6 for me is Wildcats.
Good pick. Finishes with 5 seconds left on the clock. Okay, so Gators, who
Not
is
bad.
the 6th pick? This is getting really exciting as we get closer to number 1. Who is the 6th pick?
It's getting harder and harder.
Gators?
The further closer to the top we get.
I know.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah. Number 6, my power rankings. I chose. I'm sorry, man. They finished last season, but they're gonna be making the playoffs. They're not the top 4, top 5 of the league, but I still think they have the ability to make a stink. I'm going with the Vipers. Okay, they got the best ranked quarterback and running back combo in the league. They're up there. Maybe tied, but they're up there, definitely up there. But I think this league is really showing the importance of the offensive line. That's how I see things. So their offensive line, in my opinion, is pretty poor. Especially the rest of the league. Would even say they'd be the worst. Yeah, I'd say they are the worst offensive line in the league. But again, they picked up a lot of good defensive players, so they're going to be trying to compete. But I don't think their offensive line will be able to handle it. So that's why I put them at 6. Just do a little quick rundown of their player roster and see what who sticks out. Anybody stick out in particular?
You got 10 seconds.
Yeah, that's what I'll have to say there. We're looking at I can't. They have 3 guys under 90 for the offensive line. I can't get over that weak offensive line. That's all.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I would have to agree with you that they have the worst offensive line, and really, that's going to really hurt them when it comes to those 3rd and longs and trying to give Derek Albright some time.
Sometimes it's cut and dry like that. Sometimes it's just cut and dry like that.
Number 6 for me, for the commissioner. You could say I know every team a little bit better than everybody, but I'm going to tell you one thing. We're going to be really surprised this season by a lot of these teams, even me. And number 6, I'm putting the Bears, higher than anybody else. I think the Bears are really going to surprise people. I think that the Bears are really going to surprise people. I think that William Hillard is going to finish with 2nd in the league for rushing yards. I'm going to say it now. I think William Hillard's going to have a crazy year. I think they're going to run the ball through him. I think Bill Morris may be 2nd or even last in the league for turnovers. He is going to be so efficient that it's going to make them better than they are, because Bill Morris is not going to turn the ball over. He's not going to throw it a lot. And when he does, Blaine Strickland, the bullet out there, he is just phenomenal player. He's short, but he's got a heart the size of a tower. And I think that this guy is going to get this ball and wiggle out of things. And his heart is going to, and will to win is going to get them all the way to the 6th seed and blow the socks off a lot of teams and surprise a lot of people. I think the Bears are really going to surprise people, and they come in with a above average defense that's going to play above their rankings, in my opinion. So look out for the Bears, in my opinion, coming in at 6th seed. Okay, now come down to the Gators. 5th seed. Who is going to be the 5th best team in season 2, Rhinos?
Oh, there you go, Rhinos.
Oh, all right.
Sorry, Rhinos. I was getting excited. I'm getting excited.
I was like, wait a minute. Oh, yeah, but this is it. Top 5.
Here we go.
Top 5. Like Drake. All right, my top 5. 5th on my list is, drum roll, please, the Gators.
Oh.
5th is the Gators. The Swamp Men are on the hunt, and I can see they've made a lot of deep picks in the draft that will elevate their team, more so their defense. The addition of star cornerback Tony Miller, along with Eric Shields, will shut the door on a lot of the league's best receivers and keeping them in the game. Starting quarterback Eric Airmail Reeves is coming off a good season and first Snow Bowl appearance. Their wide receiver core will keep producing with Dwight and, let me see here,
Shane Clemens.
leading the way and looking for the Gators to be extremely competitive throughout the 2021 season. Number 5, Gators.
Bravo. Great segment. Loved it. Gators, who do you think is going to finish the 5th best team.
I gotta say, I'm a little hurt.
Yeah,
But either
go
way,
ahead.
I'll see you in the playoffs.
I had to, man.
Hey, come on now.
Okay,
Who is
okay,
fifth?
okay.
Who's 5th?
Fifth spot, I'm going with the Cobras. Okay.
Wow.
They got a great combo. They have a great
Wow.
combo with their quarterback and wide receiver. And yeah, their offensive line is a little bit slacking. I would almost say as slacking as the Vipers. But
Wow.
they do have the offensive super or power to get through it. And of course, they're, in my opinion, the draft for them was pretty good. I would even say the Vipers draft was actually a little bit better, to be honest. But with the team that they got together, I think the Cobras are definitely a little bit better, especially since the way they finished last year. Everybody's surprised, and I didn't think they would be up there, but they were definitely a surprise record there last year. Yeah, Phil Clemens. That's all I gotta say. Phil Clemens is gonna have another show year. That's all we gotta say here.
Well, you're talking about the Gators.
Oh shit! My bad. Clemens is on the fucking. Oh.
You're talking about the Cobras, not the Vipers. So let's talk.
Right.
So
what's
going to happen to the Cobras? You got 20 seconds.
I mixed them up. I'm just looking at it's Hackett that I was supposed to be looking at, the running back. But yeah, they're looking at 294 wide receivers. They got the best quarterback in the league almost. Oh, whatever. They got the best quarterback. 99 club all over.
Wow, nice statement.
It's true.
Simmons is a beast.
Okay, so,
he is a beast.
Okay, so great segment from the Gators. And number 5, just so you know, I'm not making it up. It's the Gators.
Oh my God.
I put the Gators at number 5, and me and the Rhinos seem to be on the same page for the lower and the bottom. But I'm telling you, the Gators are going to play so good, but they're not going to finish top 3. But that don't mean nothing, because remember, in the first round of the playoffs, both teams that won were away teams. And guess what? Gators come in 5th seed, win their first playoff run, but I'm not too sure if they're going to win the next one, because I'm not too sure who they're going to line up against. But I'll tell you, Gators are going to make the playoffs, 5th seed. They're going to win their first round. They're going to play really well. Eric Reeves is going to really blow the socks off a lot of teams. They're not going to have an answer for him. And I really think that they're going to incorporate the run this year with Matt, Outrageous Davis. And if they do, they're just going to be unstoppable. And now they have a defense with Ron Frazier out there who's just going to go sideline to sideline. Oh, yeah. Plus, they got a guy called Tony Miller that can bring it back to the house. So I'm telling you, the Gators finished top 5 in the CSFL Season 2. Okay, now let's go down to the Rhinos, who is the 4th best team in Season 2. Rhinos.
Now, this is what I mean when I said I wasn't taking it lightly. I really thought about all of this stuff, because it was hard when you break it down. You look into it, it's tricky. But I will say, 4th on my list is the Rhinos, holding the best defense in the league for 2021. It's still restless in Rhino Land, and their record last season is what's to blame. It was by no means an improvement in the direction that they want to go. But I mean, come on, nobody expects the Rhinos to have a bad record in 2021, but coming off of a 3-4 season, going 1-3 on the road, technically below 500 ball, but second in points for, with being 2-1 at home. So scoring isn't necessarily a problem. Second in points against, though, is. And with a ton of new talent, first round pick cornerback Kel McDowell and Thomas Jacobs, and a few exceptional early and late picks, the Horns could be ready to charge in 2021. And returning stars Mark Marshall, Sweet as Candy, Randy Dorsey, Curtis Lindsey, Brendan Mann, and Horton, and the offense that finished with over 3,000 yards in offense, but only allowed over 2,000 yards, almost 3,000 yards on defense for the season. 2021 is going to look bright for the Rhinos. Number 4.
Bravo. Great segment from the Rhinos
Great
owner.
synopsis.
Absolutely
Great.
couldn't agree with you more. Okay, Gators, who is the 4th best team to finish in Season 2? Go ahead.
Well,
1 minute.
Top four teams. Let's see what we got here. I'm going with the Wildcats. Wildcats are 4th in my spot, the seeding.
Wow.
They've much improved since last year. Much improved. They got a great receiving core. Some would say the best wide receiver individually in the league. I've been trying to get my hands on him all last year. It's not an easy task. Grant Williams has been showing up crazily, even though he's not as fast as everybody else, but he's freaking running like a madman. He gets those yards and he gets them at the right times. Gene Ingram, he's a good quarterback. Not the best, but you know what? He has showed up. He has showed up when he needs to. Although last year's record, a little bit sketchy if you ask me. But looking at everything else on their defense, they improved quite a bit. Their cornerback situation they got there going. Two rookies, got in Greg and Lang, who could possibly start in a lot of teams in this league. But let's not forget their starter at cornerback, Hollings. He's going to be able to lock down a lot of wide receivers, number ones, not just any wide receiver. He's going to stop down the number ones, make it longer for the quarterbacks on the opposing team to throw the ball, which, you don't want them to scramble in this league.
15 seconds.
And that's it. That's what I'm looking at. That's just the Wildcats, number freaking 4.
Wow. That's amazing. And thank you. But yeah, that's amazing. Wow. Okay, so now number 4 for me. Let's get right into it. We're 31 minutes into the video. Number 4 for me. I swear to God, the Rhinos are looking at my piece of paper, but I got the Rhinos sitting at number 4. Rhinos sitting at number 4, and I honestly think that the Rhinos are going to play absolutely phenomenal this year. I think that they're going to really incorporate, again, just like how I felt about the Gators, not incorporating Matt Davis enough. I think that the Rhinos are going to really incorporate Sweet as Candy, Randy Dorsey, and the Candy Shop. Open the doors for the Candy Shop, because Sweet as Candy Randy's going to lead the league in touchdown catches. He's also going to lead the league in receiving yards. He's going to have the double. He's not going to get the most catches, though, because he's going to do it with big, explosive plays. J.J. Horton, he's going to play really well as well. He's going to have a few turnovers, in my opinion. I think he's going to turn the ball over, which is going to make them 4th. But if J.J. Horton can keep his hat on and keep his glasses right and keep his tie tight, he can throw the ball good, and he could even finish top 3. But I think why they're not top 3 is because of J.J. Horton's going to turn the ball over a few more times. They're going to run the ball with Mark Marshall. This guy, I'm telling you, he is the marshal of the town. He is the sheriff, absolutely. And he's going to really, really put quite a few moves on all these rookie defender players that look great. They smell great. They built great. They mama say they're great. But Mark Marshall's going to tell them that they're not great and that he's better. So I'm telling you that the Rhinos finish at 4th with the 4th best team. So now let's move down to the Rhinos. Who is the top 3? Who is the 3rd best team in season 2? Let it go, Rhinos.
All right, let's see. The 3rd best team on my list is none other than the Vipers. Phil Clemens, to me, was the star of the show for this season. The Vipers absolutely destroying cornerbacks, linebackers, and damn near the whole damn team with Phil Clemens. Every weak tackler or free safety that tried to bring him down after he hits top speed got highlighted on SportsCenter. Adding to the drama is the fact that Albright, though on paper is elite, he is not doing what he needs to do. And he has to do something else, because that scheme he's in is not working, to get that ball in better situations on the field to stack up more dubs. But we should all be on alert, because they picked up some promising rookies in the draft, which include a pair of dope linebackers in Dale bringing the Woodson and Josh Cameron.
10 seconds.
Did I mention Phil Clemens? Phil, Mr. When he's that good, they call the guy Mr. Put some love to this guy. He is a monster. Reminds me of Derrick Henry and damn Barry Sanders all together. All right, this guy
there
can
you go. That's the time. I gotta cut you off. I don't want to.
Viper.
But you're over the time now. So now let's move on to the Gators. Gators, who is going to be the 3rd best pick in the season 2?
I'm going with the Rhinos. Rhinos are looking really good this season.
Wow.
They have the best ranked defense in the league overall. That's not something to shake a stick at. They're going in a total different direction than what the league's going. The league is an offensive league. They're trying to make up on the defense here, and that's very, very important. Now I'm looking at their team. Like I said, they got a great wide receiver quarterback combo. They have a good offensive line. I gave them an A rating. In comparison, I gave the Vipers there and the Piranhas a B+ rating. So they like the Piranhas and Vipers got a pretty poor offensive line, but not the Rhinos. Rhinos got a good offensive line to support that offensive cast. And of course, they made some pretty good moves there in the rookie selection. Let's do a little quick look. Yeah, I'm looking at Kel McDowell. I'm looking at Thomas Vickers. Those are pretty good additions. And Fuller, my apologies. 3 cornerbacks in the rookie draft selection. And then, of course, they got some Spriggs. You know, nothing too much to shake a stick at, but nonetheless, he'd be starting on any team in this league. Actually, is he going to start on your team? Oh, yeah, yes, he will be, possibly. We'll see when the first game shows up. But that's what I'm looking at there. Dorsey's going to show up, 99 club. The only thing that I'm a little sketchy on is the running game. I know he's like a good performer. He's a low rating, mind you, but still, it makes me a little sketchy that he's not going to show out just like all the rest of the league. So he's not going to be able to be relied on as heavily. But this league's a passing league, so you don't have to. So that's why I got him up as high as 3rd.
Wow, there you go. Perfect, man. Wow, and that's the Gators put the Rhinos at 3rd.
You don't have enough time to debate that.
Okay, so now, believe it or not, this is my 3rd, and I gotta stop holding my paper up because, and now that I've listened to all the Rhinos picks, I think we're gonna finish all with the exact same picks now because there's only so many teams left. Third best team for me is the Vipers. Absolutely is. I couldn't agree more. Mr. Phil Clemens, I'll call him Mr. The real deal, Phil Clemens. He is something. He is just something. He's something special. I think Derek Albright also is going to be the comeback player of the year. I think Derek Albright's going to play absolutely phenomenal. I think Shane Lott is going to really, really show up. I think that they're going to do really well on offense, and then their defense is going to turn the ball over. The Vipers could not turn the ball over all last year. They couldn't do it. They had to wait till week 7 or week 6, I believe it was, before they got their first turnover. Can you believe it with that such a great team? Not this season. They're going to turn the ball over. Not only going to turn the ball over, but they're going to have multiple turnovers in single games. Okay, so and then that's going to allow the Vipers to really come up and take down these big Goliath teams like the Rhinos, like the Gators, like the Bears, these Werewolf teams. They're all great. They're going to look like a shiny brand new penny until they run into these Vipers and they're going to get humbled. Okay, so that's my 3rd best team for season 2 is the Vipers. Okay, so now let's move down to the Rhinos. We only got 2 picks left. Who is the 2nd best team in season 2, Rhinos? 1 minute.
2nd best team on my list will go to the champions, Dragons.
Wow.
QB Brendan Platt and his Dragons are on top of the hill as the CSFL champs. Why, you ask? Because they finished the season with the 1 and 2 spots in the league for offense and defense. And maybe because nobody could really stop them last season, as a team had 100% offensive red zone scoring in the championship game. Now, with all 7 solid all-stars on their team and the quality list of rookies they drafted, you wouldn't be wrong to say that they stepped up to the challenge all season, and next season will be a big problem for the rest of the league. So I still think the Dragons are a good team, number 2 on my list.
Wow. Okay, he got right to the point there. Didn't need enough time to know that the Dragons are the 2nd best. Now, Gators, who is the 2nd best team? Because me and the Rhinos are pretty much on the same page. So I'm curious, which way is he going to go here? I haven't been keeping track of the picks he's been making. Who is the 2nd best team in season 2? Gators.
I haven't picked the Gators yet. They're in the top 2, but I got them at number 2. I got my team at number 2.
Oh.
Okay, let's hear it. 1 minute.
I believe my defense on the Gators is really top notch. I know I didn't get the highest ranking, but I think on overall, on each individual position, they're better than most of the league. They're in the top tier of all the leagues, and when it comes to the defense, the only thing I'm slacking is the defensive end core. I'm working on it. I'm working on it. But we're weak on that defensive end, and on the offense, I'm working on that wide receivers. But why we're number 2 is, well, we're just better than everyone. I'm sorry. Last year was was a surprise with not making the playoffs, but I'm not making that mistake again. And you know what? One thing that we're not counting in these power rankings is the abilities of the owners and the coordinators and all that. Okay, I gotta take the fall for this. I was the reason that the team didn't make it last year. I made the calls for all the offensive defense, and that was the reason that we didn't make it. It wasn't the team's fault. And I believe this team, with the proper management, will be the 2nd seed in this league.
Wow.
I truly believe.
Wow.
Damn.
What a statement by the Gators. And honestly, if anyone was going to do this, I thought this would have been the Rhinos doing something like this. But hey, the Gators, no wonder why you guys get along so well. Hey, okay.
I didn't think about it.
Moving on, we're 41 minutes into a 30-minute projected video. Okay, so the 2nd seed for me, drum roll please, the big 2nd seed is the Blue Jays. I think the Blue Jays are going to finish with the 2nd seed, and oh my lord, this time they're not going to make a mistake in the playoffs like they did last time, because they don't got to worry about no Piranhas, because they ain't going to make it in. They ain't got to worry about no Cobras that beat them last year, because they ain't going to make it in. And the Blue Jays are going to come back head hunting, looking for these Dragons. And I tell you, if they match up in the playoffs before the championship game, I'm going to say the Blue Jays beat them in the playoffs, but in the championship game may be a little bit different. But the Blue Jays finished with a 5-1-1, and now they got better. I don't care what anybody says. They got better. Not only did they get better offensively with points and progression, but they got better on the defensive line, most importantly. Paul Watts.
Oh, yeah.
Paul, 1,000,000 watts, whatever you want to call him, power man, came down, fell all the way down to the Blue Jays, and they picked him up. And not only did they pick him up, but they added more defensive tackle help. They already had an 82, one of the best, if not the best defensive tackle as it was. Now they have the best defensive line in the league. I'm going to go out there and say it. The best defensive line in the league. And I'm telling you, they're going to get home, because you can't double block everybody. And they're going to get, the only way to beat Blue Jays last year was to run the ball. Guess what? They got some big boys up there. They're going to stop the run, and they're going to stop people from running it. They're going to finish not with the first defense, but I'm going to say they're first in allowing for rushing yards. They're going to have the best defense against the rush in the Blue Jays. That's my opinion, because you're going to go down and you're not going to be able to run it, because you're going to have to throw it to catch up with these damn Blue Jays. That's my 2nd seed. So now, down to the Rhinos. Last one, guys. This is it. Who is the number 1 best team in the league? Start with the Rhinos. Who finishes first for the season? Not for the playoffs or champion, just for the season. Rhinos.
Just for the season, well, my number 1 is obviously the Blue Jays. The best team in the league on paper, and almost in the league with a 5-1 record. They're a powerhouse team. The Jays were favorites as soon as the first game was over, powered by the plays of Alex Campbell, who surprisingly isn't even the best corner on their team right now, playing the bullet train Higgins and Trell Adams, and their starting quarterback, Ralph Dorsey, who is the only 99 player on the team except for the new kickers in the league. But the Big Four lead the Jays to a great record and back up their claims as the best team in the overall team stat category as well. With 12 players in the Snow Bowl, you could say they're going to be back for the 2021 season, which makes them the number 1 team on my power rankings.
Wow.
The Blue Jays.
Wow.
And they just added more with the draft. They're not getting worse. They're getting better. Like John said over there, they're getting better.
Yeah.
You add great players to an already good team. You know, they're powerhouse.
Wow. what a statement from the Rhinos there. I couldn't agree more. Now let's get right into it. Last and best team of season 2. Who is it, Gators?
I got to stand with the Rhinos here. It's the Blue Jays. They have a great offensive line. They may be slacking there in the left guard spot, but they make up with the high 90s for all the rest of their offensive line. And then, of course, they picked up, like you said, Watts. That guy's a monster on that defensive line. And they, stamped down on the defensive tackle. That's pretty impressive. Yeah, they have a great outside linebacker core. And now they moved, like you said, Alex Campbell showed up really well last year. And he's on the 4th position at this point, looking at the 2 rookies that they picked up, which I'm like, oh boy, this could be something special. Not to mention they picked up Charles Frazier to be at the free safety spot, and then Jared Lewis at the strong safety spot. So they're looking really good on defense. They were already, like last year, they had the best defense, I would say by far, but last year's defense retrospectively was pretty poor all around. But they still had the best defense of the defenses of the league last year. So they moved up pretty well this season, over the offseason, rather. But Dontrell Adams going to show up, and that's because of Ralph Dorsey's pedigree. Ralph Dorsey's got it going on. They're number 1 on paper. Will it show up on the field? Who knows?
Well, according to you, they will, and they're going to finish to the first seed overall. And let's cap this video up with one last burst, and then we'll say goodbye. We're already at 46 minutes. Thank you if you made it this far into the video for watching. And my number 1 team that finishes for the regular season, believe it or not, is the Dragons. I know that the Gators rated them low, but the Rhinos can agree with me when I say that the Dragons are going to be up there. They're going to finish at the first seed. They're going to take it away from the Blue Jays. Blue Jays want to go back-to-back seasons getting the first overall seed, and the Dragons are going to take it from them, and they're actually going to beat them in the regular season. The Dragons, I think they're going to beat them in the regular season, whether they're away or at home. They're going to beat them on a comeback game from Brendan Platt, because Brendan Platt, ever since he had eye surgery, he has just been lasers out there. The guy is just absolutely phenomenal. He's really clutch, and all of us feel it, even when they're down in the 4th quarter, that they're still in it. So you have to be winning, not tied, not trailing. You have to be winning against these Dragons in the 4th quarter in order to win, because if you're tied, they're going to beat you. If he's still below you, he's going to come back. So Brendan Platt is the one-trick pony there with Barry Perkins. Rashad Pleasant actually is taking a step down this season. He's decreased in progression, so we're going to see the emergence of Des Edwards come up from the 3rd to the 2nd spot. And I'm telling you, Des Edwards is better than Rashad Pleasant, and look what Rashad Pleasant did in the playoffs to the Cobras. Also, one last point about the Dragons, they got the best linebacker in the league. A few teams got the best corners. Some players got the best defensive linemen. But in my opinion, best linebacker in the draft went at the last pick of the 1st round, and it was Grant Hale. And I'm telling you, all will hail to Grant Hale and the Dragons with the first overall seed of season 2. So that is it. That's our video. I'm losing my voice. I'm getting so excited. Thank you so much for being here and watching the video. Thank you for making the time, Rhinos. Thank you so much for making the time, Gators. And we will talk to you guys real soon for the regular season. Kicking up this next Friday, actually. So let's see you soon. Talk to you soon.